All right, so two things. Two things. One, as if on cue, as they say. Um, Guys next across the street are blowing leaves and mowing lawns, and so thank goodness it is so hot out that my windows are not open, but I can see them in the front. So good morning, everybody. So I am starting this TikTok live with all sorts of chaos going outside. But the real reason I'm laughing and smiling is, well, first of all, I'm a happy person, but I'm going to out myself, okay? Because I don't always look at myself in the mirror when I get up. Now, I just noticed as I turned on this thing, and I already coached today, I forgot I put on mascara yesterday. I don't even know why I put, oh, you know why? Because I was going to get a pedicure and I thought I'd doll myself up. I forgot, and so I just went to bed without washing my face. So, yes, I do know that I have mascara under my eyes, but I'm going to laugh about it because let she who is without mascara under her eyes be the one to cast the first stone, right? You know what? You got to laugh because we're all just humans. And humans who sometimes forget to wash their faces before they go to bed. Anywho, enough of that kind of surfacey stuff. Good morning. Good morning, Beth, Miss Julie, Marley, good morning to you as well. Tracy and Carrie and Katie and Heather. Yay. It feels like today, I don't know, this week is a little bit off to me. It's crazy to realize. Yeah, and fall asleep on the couch. Thank you. Thank you. I actually had to get up. This was funny. There was a TikToker who I totally hit the thumbs up, the like, the heart because he was like, "Why is couch sleep does not equal bed sleep?" Because last night, that was the thing. I was so tired yesterday. I've been tired a lot recently because we have so much fun and I need to recover from it. Okay, Jen B, that was you last night. It was almost me last night too. Because I said to my husband, I said, I don't want to do anything tonight. Please, for the love of God, let's not go out and do something. I would just want to lay on the couch and read a book. But then what happens is I almost fall asleep and I wake up, almost fall asleep. And so I get a little bit into my book. And then you know what happens to me? I don't know if this happens to you, but I'm going to share my humanity with you. Is I'm like, well, I'm too tired. I keep on falling asleep because I can't concentrate on my book. So what do I do then? I pick up my phone. I start scrolling on TikTok. And then, whoo, I literally have to like set an alarm to get off of the couch. So I did doze on the couch last night, but then I did go to bed. And then I probably picked up my phone again. I see nothing wrong with scrolling on TikTok as a form of resetting and entertainment and learning things and distraction and all that. The only time, yeah, TikTok will keep you up. It's true. There we go, Jen B. I love that idea. I woke up at 5 a.m. that I played on my iPad for an hour, then I laid back down. I will share with you guys. This is one of my definitions in my late 50s, which is crazy to say because I don't feel like I'm in my late 50s. One of my definitions of being rich, of being wealthy, of whatever, I will share with you. Having worked jobs, and I still work, don't get me wrong, I was up at 6 a.m. coaching somebody, but being in control of my time, to me, is the greatest treasure. I would rather be in control of my time than own a yacht or a vacation home or all of that stuff that money buys. Because you know what I love is after decades of having to get up at a certain time for work and not wanting to, of waking up even at 5 a.m. and being like, you know what? I can get up if I want, or I can lay here if I want. I can play on my phone for hours, or I can go back to sleep. Like having those choices of what I do with my time feels freaking awesome. You know, so notice that. What are the things that where you are in your life make you feel good? Now, I think years ago, I think everybody's always default is money. I want to buy stuff. You know what I love is just knowing that I have control over my time, that I get to decide what I do, when I do it, for how long I do it, if I do it at all of those, like the who, what, when, where's, why's. When you discover what makes you feel good, and trust me, I'm talking about decluttering too. Do not get me lost. But when you discover what makes you feel good, you can focus more on that. You know, maybe I like to sleep in a little bit. So if I were a rich man, yada da 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 da. Like seriously, if I were a rich man, what did he want? I want a big house in the middle of the town so everyone could see. If I were a rich man, if I were a rich woman, I am a rich woman because I get to sleep as late or as early as I want, right? Yeah, see, Danielle, yeah, that's the frustrating thing about work, even though I work from home. So, funny thing for me, I work from home. Hey, if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered, and I work from my home to help you with your home. We work together on Zoom if we're coaching together because I want your home to look and feel and function just like you want it to, so you feel good in your home. Now, I have clients, I'm looking at my schedule right now. I have clients that start at 8 a.m., but I have one client who I love to hang out with, and she was like, can you start at 6 a.m.? And I was like, yes, I can. Good morning, Erin. Nice to see you. I have a client that I start at 6 a.m. Eastern. Now, luckily for me, I'm an early bird. My husband doesn't go to bed until 2 a.m. He's a night owl. He's a musician. I'm the early bird in the family. So once I get up for that client, it's a little bit rough from like 5:45, but then I get up and then I'm already, like, my juices flowing and stuff. But on other days, I don't even have to sleep in. I don't even have to coach until like 7 or 8 in the morning. I love it. So, what makes you feel good in your home? Let's even start there. Let's not start with the complaining about the clutter and, oh my God, I have so much to do. Not even. How about this? Let's even start in the fun. This is what you do like on a Thursday. You're already planning for your fun weekend, right? Let's start here. You know? What makes you feel good in your home? Okay? What makes you feel good in your home? For me, I'll give some examples. What makes me feel good? I like looking around and not having my stuff yelling at me that I should do something. Oh, you really should put that away. Oh, I really should get that reframed. I mean, I could, but it's quiet. Okay, your pets make you feel good. Awesome. I like to talk about how the interplay, and even just maybe even discovering the interplay between the items you have in your home, the quantity of them, the quality of them, where they are located, the stories within them, the stories behind them. Notice how we say there's a story behind that. Like, here's the mug, but there's a story behind the mug. Okay? Notice that all of those things about things can make you feel good or bad in your house, or not so good or really good, and variations thereof. Now, I say this because I work in clutter. I work in clutter and I get paid to help people with their clutter because clutter can make you feel crappy and heavy and discouraged and all the unhelpfuls. Now, it's like a yin yang. There's a balance, but the wonderful thing is when you discover, maybe you don't even know what makes you feel happy in your home. How about this? How does your clutter make you feel? Let's play a game, okay? I love playing games, okay? And Wendy Rose, I love it. Wendy Rose put together all her students' grade art supplies and gave it to a family who you foster. And giving away stuff makes you feel good. Having items can make you feel good. However, giving away items can also make you feel good, okay? So we talk about, we take the good, we take the bad, to take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life, okay? So you take the good, what makes you feel good? But let's hang out on the other side for a minute because there's info in that too. Think about it. If you think lobster, this is me. I think lobster tastes really good, but if I ate it every day, I'd begin to dread it. Having a balance, having a nice little, this is me doing like the yin yang thing, but I also got this little Palm Springsy deal. Having a nice little balance in your life about what you have and what you don't. So even looking at the stuff, what doesn't make you feel good in your home, clutter-wise? Let's just even clutter, because this is Destination Decluttered. Write down a word. You don't have to write it in the comments, but even yourself, write down 3 words about how crappy your clutter makes you feel. Just write them down. I'm going to write some down too. Right, okay. Oh, what's another one? All right, so I wrote down a few, okay? And I just want you to do this. This is what we do in coaching. So why don't I just give you a little taste of that? Here, have a little taste of coaching. You wrote down the crappy things. I wrote down the 3 words. Okay, I wrote down 3 words that clutter makes me feel. When I'm cluttered, I feel heavy, I feel discouraged, and I feel overwhelmed when there's too much clutter. Those are really good words to write down because then you can draw a little line. Notice heavy, discouraged, overwhelmed. Then there's a line. Now you write down the opposite of that. So I'm just going to do it right now. Okay, so the opposite of heavy to me is light. Discouraged, I think it's encouraged. Discouraged, I don't have the courage. Encouraged. And when I say overwhelmed, my definition of overwhelmed, the opposite of overwhelmed is not too much, but I feel in control. So I like to say in control. So that's what you're going for when you're decluttering, is the opposite of what you're currently feeling now in your home. Wouldn't you rather feel light and encouraged and in control? You can get that by making your house look good, but what you're really going for, we're making it look good, do not get me wrong, but we're making it look good so you feel good. That's just a little thing I like to think of when I'm doing my coaching. I thought I would share that with you. All right. So Rosman says, a close family member passed away. Now I have a big plant in my house and lots of pictures. How do I? I missed the rest of it. Okay. You decide what you want. Rosman, I don't see the second half of your thing, but I'm scrolling through. All I will say is for everybody, seriously, it can be as simple as this, but it could be revolutionary. Decide, make a decision of what you want and what you don't want. Notice I said what you want, what you don't want. The yin and yang of it all. I think it's a book my friend wrote. You, paying attention to you. Not the stuff that was the family member. They wanted it, they're not here. Do you want it? The answer can be yes, but the answer can also be no. Okay? There we go. So Ellen, good morning, Ellen. Just listening to a recording while weeding. Awesome. Get out there before it's too hot, okay? Hey, Chrissy, nice to see you. I love it. Lab says, the other day when you were live, I decluttered a box of kitchen stuff and donated it. Okay, wonderful. Now, I will say this, because there's a little bit of a lag of when I see your things. I'm just getting into the words that people were using to describe their clutter. Maybe this resonates with you. So Wendy Rose says, stuck, sad, and anxious. Miss Julie says, disorganized, messy, and lazy. Overwhelmed, heavy, sad, and overwhelming. Anxious, stressed, disappointed. Anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, and tired. Okay? Notice how there's a commonality. We are humans. We are affected by what we are surrounded by. Many of us are feeling the same way about that stuff, but stop in the name of love. Notice that there's another side to that. On the other side of it, because I just saw, there we go. Wendy Rose then said free, happy, and calm. All right, I like the feel of that. Light, happy, and in control. Enlightened, notice the familiarities. Enlightened, excited, and happy. Yeah, okay. What's the opposite of embarrassment? What's the opposite of embarrassment? I think, because I coach, I think embarrassment, and maybe I'll write that down. Do I have this one? I'm going to write it down. I have a list of unhelpful thoughts here. I'm going to write embarrassment. Yeah. I think embarrassment has to do with shame. 2 S's and 2 R's. Meant. Embarrassment. I don't know what the opposite of not ashamed is. I'm just going to write down not ashamed until I get to a better word. I'm ashamed of how I'm embarrassed. I'm mortified that somebody's going to see my clutter. Notice the things that it doesn't make you feel. And there's always going to be, there's a flip side to every record, okay? There's a flip side to every record. All right. Now, Evolution Frenchies, Nikki's saying, I just spoofs. I had water damage and now I'm forced to declutter. I love decluttering, but don't wait for a disaster like me. Yes, people, Nikki is saying, learn from my experience. Don't do what I did. And I'm going to say, that's why I show up too. Learn from my experience. And I bet you did what I did because we were cluttered, but I got uncluttered. I got decluttered. I am staying decluttered. And my life in every aspect of it has been improved because I have decluttered. So start now. Don't wait for some event to react to. Start now. Operators are ready. Time goes by. The sooner you start to declutter, you can take your time, you can do it right. As the song says, take your time, do it right. We can do it, baby. Take your time, do it right. But also, the sooner you start, the sooner you get decluttered, and the sooner you just start living a wonderful decluttered life. Okay? All right. So how do you get those things out without hurting feelings? Whose feelings are you going to hurt? Rosman, whose feelings? Unless I misunderstood, the person who passed away, it's their stuff. They're dead. And the dead people, I will want to absolve all the dead people of being whatever humans they were on the planet. This is how I choose to interpret it. You can do what you will, but this has helped me. When we are here on the earth, right now, you and me, we are doing the absolute best we can with the skills and insight and knowledge and the stuff that we have. We're doing the best we can. However, we're human. That's all we can do. When we die, we become enlightened. We get it. We see the big picture. We understand it. We're looking down on the little ants on the planet going, oh, I get it now. I didn't understand when I was there that it's all about love and treating people well and treating ourselves well. I didn't get it. So the people who are dead get it now. They understand where they screwed up on the planet. Maybe they were being judgy. Maybe they guilted you into something. They don't want to do that anymore. They just want you to live a life you love before you die. That's how I look at it. My dad didn't like my style. Probably didn't like the fact that I was a girl because I didn't like sports or hunting. Didn't, like the fact that I was left-handed. There's many things, and I'm not getting into that type of thing. But what I'm saying is, all of those things were him on the planet as a male growing up, as a dad. He was a wonderful dad in so many ways, too. We are all complex characters. But my dad has passed, and I choose to believe that he understands the bigger framework of what life is all about now. And he just looks down on me from heaven with unconditional love, who's saying, go for it. You do that. I am encouraging you. You go kick some ass. Go help people. I love that you're helping your mother. I love that you're getting comfortable with making money. I love that you are you, and I'm so glad you aren't anybody else but you. Notice that. It's just a story I'm telling myself, but man, does that make me feel better. And when I feel better, I do better. Try it out, Rosman. See how it fits. Okay? All right. All right. Renee has executive dysfunction, don't we all? Due to ADHD. Yeah, welcome to the club. We're all in the same boat, Nancy says. I'm in clutter hell. Okay. Start to define what clutter heaven would feel like. Write it down. If hell is on one side, what's heaven? Notice. Yin, yang. A side, B side. Marie says, you're awesome, Beth. I love your lives, and I pull up your recordings when I need some motivation. Thank you. And Marie, you're welcome. Okay. A funeral plant from friends. Okay. You can give the plant away. Big picture frames. Okay, here's the thing. Burn the candles. Take the pictures out of the frames. Donate the frames somewhere. Notice how we can chunk these things down. If you don't want to have the picture, I have a picture of my friend who passed away. I didn't like the frame. I took the picture out of the frame. Now it's literally just tucked behind something until I find a good frame, or if I want to frame it at all. But I have the picture. If you don't want the picture, it's okay, because the person lives out on your heart. You tearing up a picture of your friend could be symbolic of how you don't like that person anymore. Hello, ex-husbands. Or it could be, this is just a picture. This isn't you. I'm just getting rid of this because I don't want clutter, but I love you. Right. Okay. All right. Received a box of gifts. Feeling guilt. Don't want it. Don't feel guilt. Notice that you don't want it and be okay with it. If it's just going to add to your clutter, say thank you, but no thank you. You already received it, so you don't want it in your home. What's the easiest way that you can dismantle that box of gifts and rehome them to somebody else, to someplace else? Okay? Notice these things, people. You can do these things. All right? You can do it. That's going to be my thing. My thing. Seriously? All right. People are putting their things. Proud, opposite of shame. Okay. A little pride, but in a good way. Proud. They say, here's the funny thing. I am not a religious person. But notice how religion decides. There's good stuff. Like, don't kill people. That's a really good one. But, like, don't be boastful. Boastful can be kind of, but also being confident. What are the 7 deadly sins? A little bit of each one of those is kind of good, but too much of it is too much. A little pride, but in a good way. I am proud of what I have done. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Feeling good about your accomplishments makes you feel good. When you don't feel good, though, notice where it can creep up in religion and other periods of life. Shame, guilt, sin, you're bad. When you feel that way, you are controllable. People have control over you when you're not feeling good. You regain control over yourself when you're feeling better. And you make better decisions, and you make decisions that turn your life into one you want, regardless of the other people. Okay? All right, get a grip, honey. I say that as a kid because that's your name. Last spot to declutter is the office. Paper clutter is overwhelming. Modern love is automatic. I don't even know where that came from. It came from my Gen X brain. What I want to offer to you is, if you think it's going to be overwhelming, you're going to feel overwhelmed and you may not do anything about it. How about the opposite? I'm going to calm that down. It's not overwhelming. I'm going to chunk it down, calm it down. I'm going to decrease it. Overwhelm to down. Okay? I love going through paper because it's so easy to categorize. All of it's 8.5 by 11 usually, but then I got the ones with the Verizon. Oh, I'm going to play matchy-matchy. Everything with a Verizon logo, it goes over here. Everything with a Blue Cross Blue Shield, over here. MasterCard here. Chase over here. Stuff from the Colonial Theater over here. You know what? Categorizing your stuff. Then instead of dealing with one big mishmash of a pile, you just say, okay, what do I want? Why do I even get these things from Verizon? Do I need to know every week or every month that we pay $50 for our our thing? No. Can I go electronic? Yeah, okay. Gets paid electronically. Okay, mental note. Not even mental note. Writing down the mental note. Go paperless for Verizon, and then I can shred these. Notice these things, people. You can do something about it. That's going to be my recurring motif, to allow you to remind yourself that when you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not in your best state. So let's calm this MF down. Calm down, slow down. Relax. Breathing down. So good. Reclaim your energy. Draw it on back to you. When you feel better, you're going to do better. And you can do this. If you were hyperventilating, people would say slow down. They would put your head down between your knees and breathe down into your lungs and slow down your breathing. When your body and your nervous system feels better, you will be able to more easily do something. Okay? But when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling embarrassed, when you're feeling, overwhelmed, when you're feeling, you're going to hurt the family, when you're feeling afraid of hurting your family, fear, seriously guys, fear and no, love and yes. All right? Yeah. Okay, you've lost your family members physically. You will never get them back physically. They will always live in your heart. Everybody. I had a friend pass away a few months ago. I have a friend who passed away on Saturday. Okay? So notice, when I talk about him, you know what happens? Did you hear that? Did you hear the tone of my voice just change? Because I feel my feelings, and this is where I feel my feelings. I feel my feelings in my heart. And I get choked up. And you know what happens? I get choked up. And my body is trying to feel better. It's trying to hug itself. So then my lungs constrict and my heart constricts. And then my throat. And then I get tears in my eyes when I feel a feeling. But it's okay. Because you know what? He still lives in my heart. If I hadn't gotten the word that he was dead, he would still be alive in my heart. So I choose to believe that Pete, you big lug, you're still alive in my heart. You always will be. I don't need anything in my life, any physical object to remind you of that. Do I have one? Yeah. He gave me an egg beater. An egg beater with a cool, handle on it that's aqua. He got it when he was decluttering his mom's house. I use it on occasion, and I think of Pete. I will keep it because I use it. But even if I didn't have that egg beater, what if I was like, I got nothing? I don't even have a picture. I don't even know if I have a picture with him. That's okay. I have a picture in my head, and I have a feeling in my heart that will never go away, no matter if I don't have any physical item that reminded me of him. Okay? Now, no, Rosman, you're not alone. Renee is saying, that's why I have so much random stuff. I've lost 4 family members. Yeah, we try to bring them back by surrounding us with the stuff. I'm not going to say get rid of all of it. No, I don't say anything. I just offer you ideas that you have control over what you keep and what you remove. And if you say to yourself, it's going to hurt the family for me to get rid of this, then you're going to feel bad. How about this? You know what? I choose to make myself feel better, and I'm going to give this plant a better home. And if your family feels bad, that's them. Do what feels better to you. Look at me, backwards and forwards. I'm like, aha. We make ourselves feel bad thinking that we're saving somebody else. If we're thinking, I don't want to do what I want because it might hurt somebody else. But in the meantime, you know who you're hurting? Boop, you're hurting yourself. Okay? So just notice these things. Yep, I love it. Fresh start. Every piece I donate and toss is like losing a pound of weight. If it was only be so easy. Man, I wish it was so easy on my postmenopausal body. I'm telling you. It's not, but you know what makes you feel better is when your house feels lighter and you can literally just remove the weight that way. Okay? Notice these things. Notice these things, people. All right, I'm backing things up. Pep talk. I love pep. Yeah, okay. Marcy Bates says, I took all Granny's things. I couldn't let them go. You have this wonderful word, yet. I think it's my friend. There's somebody. It was either a guy at the diner. No, I don't think it was that. I seriously think it's my friend Jesse. I'm going to ask him about that. Write it down, people. Write these things. Jesse. Yet. It has that word. I couldn't let them go yet. That means there is going to be a time for you to more easily let them go. Now, when you're in the middle of grief, when you're really hurting, is not the place to make decisions that you're going to feel good about. You're probably collecting things around you to make yourself feel better because you miss your Grammy, right? I know that feeling. And it can be hard to let go, but after a while, when you're holding on to all those things, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt you. You're going to weigh yourself down. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, I love it. Sisters aren't doing camp work. We are. So when they come up, have at it. Here you go. Vintage rattan is fire. Yes, it is, Kara. I love it. Yes, and may you be comforted by happy memories of your loved ones. Yeah, seriously, people. Notice that the stuff in our house tells us stories. We have other ways of keeping the stories besides keeping a thing. Could you write a book? Could you tell yourself, here's an easy way. Use technology to make your decluttering easier. You could do this. Instead of writing a story, maybe that takes too long. You could text yourself. Here's what you do. You open up like QuickTime or something, and you just start talking into your recorder, your microphone. Nobody else has to be around. Here are the things I remember about my grandmother. I remember when we were in her kitchen in Dedham, and there wasn't a lot of counter space, and she had this little thing, and we used to make little pies at it. And then she made the most delicious thing, and she used palm olive. I could talk that into a recording. I could then upload that recording thing to otter.ai, and it could turn it into words. I would have that message, that story written down by the end of the day. I wouldn't have to keep all the stuff. I kept the story. Okay? So notice these things. Yeah, notice these. Yeah, it's hard. A lot of it. Yeah. And Shantu's Tarot says, yeah, another way to use technology, current technology, to make it easier to remove things from your life. Shantu's Tarot says, Tarot, listen to me. My therapist recommends taking a photo before donating or throwing away an item. Yes, notice, I'm always looking around for my phone to use it as an example. I forget that I'm talking into my phone right now. But this is the wonderful thing about the time in which we live. Live and let die is we have all sorts of digital space to help us deal with our physical space. Notice the digital to physical. We are living in between two worlds. That's why if you have a lot of paper in your house, you may be living in a material world, as Madonna said, because you had the habit of keeping too many papers. But nowadays, could you ask yourself, is there a way I could access that information online if I needed it? If I needed it, as opposed to getting the paper in the mail. Also, when's the last time I looked at that paper? When have I ever had to look at my previous Verizon bill, or a previous Morgan Stanley statement, or a previous credit card statement, or whatever it is that came in the mail that you're holding on to. Sometimes there are legit reasons for you to do that. Check in with your 2024 self and ask yourself, are the habits that I currently have in line with who I am now and the technology I have available, and also who I want to be? If I want to be a paper clutterer for the next 20, 30, 40 years, I'm doing great. But if I don't want to be that person, this is when I say, hey, July 11th of 2024, I'm going to decide to do something different. And it can start as soon as you getting the mail today and you do something different than yesterday. I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. You can do something different today from yesterday. You can do it. Okay? You can do it. That's my thing. You can do it. Okay? Love how you throw in a theme song. Welcome to my brain. Welcome to my brain. My brain is full of music. I grew up in a music-loving family. None of us were particularly musically talented, but we love it. I listened to the radio all the time. The reason that we have songs is to convey an emotion and a feeling, and it's a quick jump start to remind things. A noun is a person, place, or thing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You put things to music and it's easier to remember. You know? Yeah. You could scan the photos and upload them to the cloud, but yeah, you can print them. Don't print your pictures. You can if you want, but you're just adding to your clutter. I have, see this? Okay, I will be honest with you. See this closet right here? With the exception of some bags hanging on some things, I have an entire top shelf and a stack of organized totes, all filled with physical photos. Physical paper printed photos. I was a photography major in school. I am also the family archivist, so I have a little bit more than maybe some people. I also have my own, snapshots from living on the planet for freaking decades and taking pictures for 40 plus years. However, you know what the interesting thing is that my paper photos stop at a certain era. They stop at when the digital came. I rarely, if ever, look at those. If I see more of those photos from the ones that I sent away to get digitized. Notice how you live your life. You can change it if it's not working for you. You know? Yeah, Kara, I know the feeling. I have siblings too. We are all wired differently. Breathe in the good air. Let it go. Let it go. But notice complaining. Complaining can be, who was I talking to? Probably a client of mine, about complaining being a way of connecting. Oh my God, how about this weather, huh? Yeah, you don't even know somebody. You can bitch about the weather with somebody you have no idea. Complaining can be connecting. It can also be a habitual way of connecting, leading with the negative. Also, frankly, I get into that because I know complainers. But I know how crappy it can feel to just complain, and not do anything about it. But it can be an indication that something's not going well. You don't complain about stuff that's going well. Am I right? Oh, hey, I just saw CC Fitzhenry. There we go. Yes, only print a picture that you're going to put in a frame and display. But then know this, you guys. Know this because I've done it myself. I used to take photos and I used to work in a frame store. At some point in your future, you or somebody else is going to have to figure out what to do with that picture in the frame. Now, trust me, I'm not trying to get Michaels out of business, and I do have some stuff I want to get framed, but just know that everything that you frame is going to be something that you or somebody else is going to have to make a decision of later on. You know how I like to frame things nowadays? I'm not kidding. I save a photo that I like to my screensaver on my phone. So it reminds me of a beach we went to, or it's a picture of my husband and me, or it's a picture of our dog. I frame things on the frame on my phone right here. I don't need to have a physical picture. Back in the day when all you had was physical pictures, that was the only way you could see those things. Today is different. We have digital. So why not use the technology to make your life easier? Okay? Just saying. Just saying. And trust me, as I said, I'm not saying I have nothing. I have a whole box through these. I am going through this myself. It's just good things to think about. So nowadays, I am really mindful and timeful. I am really mindful about what pictures that I want to save and print and which ones just lovingly stay on my phone. Okay? I love this when I see people, helping each other out. You know something to do. Cat Mama's got a lot of good ideas. She's helping tarot. I'm cracking myself up. Quesadilla, jalapeno, and taro. I sometimes mispronounce words because it cracks me up, and then I end up saying it in public. I once said to somebody out loud, I'm not kidding you, I was in the American Airlines lounge of Logan Airport, and I saw somebody who was eating a freshly made piece of Mexican food, and I literally said, oh my God, that quesadilla looks really good. I know it's quesadilla, but notice the habits you get into, the way you talk to yourself. My husband and I used to say quesadilla because his dad used to say quesadilla. So we say it jokingly and then we think it, and then sometimes you don't even realize what you're saying to yourself until it comes out, and then you say it and you're like, whoa, I got to stop that habit and start to talk to myself in a better way, even if it's pronouncing quesadilla like quesadilla. Okay, yes, Brooke, thank you. All right, go make coffee. Enjoy your day. Yeah. Oh, Kara, you and me, we get some familiarities. It's fun to be the observer, though. Backing up and noticing how those people live. And you know what this is the thing that gets me. Once I learned how much better it felt, this is why I turned into a coach. And this is why I'm here on TikTok at 8:30 in the morning on Thursday in, July. Because I am so excited about learning the difference. Remember we talked about the one side and the other? I used to be a complainer. I used to just complain and moan and groan and not do anything about it because I didn't know what to do. All I knew how to do was complain because that's how I grew up. When I learned how to do something different, when I noticed I could do something different, I started to change it, it changed it. Now to me, I'm in that kind of evangelical in the really good way. Like, oh my God, you guys, I just found something that has changed my life here. I'm so excited to share it with you. But the only people we can change are ourselves, and then the people who are open to it. Some people don't want to hear it. Some people get comfort from the feeling of, I can't do anything about it. It's just the way it is. I'm complaining. Well, that's just the way it is. We can't change who doesn't want to be changed, but what we can do is practice being different around them. And knowing that if you're around those people and it exhausts you, you find ways to limit your time with them. Because self-preservation is part of it. Renee, okay, I know you got to go. I'm glad I got you the motivation in the morning. You go. You do you. Everybody, you do you. I'm going to stick around here until 9 a.m. Yep, I'm just looking at my schedule. I'm telling you, every day, write down your day. Make these things happen. This is how you make good stuff happen. Okay? But notice how you feel when you're around certain people. Notice how you feel when you're hanging around with yourself. How does it feel when you're just hanging around with yourself and all yourself is doing, all part of you, your backseat driver is complaining. Okay? How does it feel to hang out with a complainer? I love this because I love things that rhyme. Complaining is draining to me. Yes, German made. I know it too. But here's something I want to offer because this was an insight that I had thought of a while back, and I want to bring it up because it may help put things into context. I feel better thinking about these things this way. First of all, as I said, we are humans on the planet with a limited amount of knowledge and habits and experience, and all the things we do came from a certain place. When we don't judge ourselves, we realize we are doing the best we can with what we have. And when we notice that about ourselves and don't feel so bad about ourselves, we might be able to look at the people around us and also convey that to them, that they are doing the best they can with what they have, their skill set, their thoughts, their stories, their life. Here's what I think. Notice how I said complaining can be connection. It's a way of connecting yourself with somebody by, just meeting at that level. I often think too, complaining is, ever heard the word the squeaky wheel gets the grease? Yeah. When you're complaining, you're squeaking. When you're squeaking, you get attention. So the only way you learn to get attention is by squeaking, you might continue to squeak. If you were the oldest of children and you only got attention from your parent when things were wrong, maybe you will learn that the only way somebody pays attention to you is if you complain. But then you just get in the habit of going from everything with a complaining perspective. When you get that insight, maybe that changes how you feel about yourself. Maybe that changes how you view others. I know myself, I have literally been told by my mother, "Oh, I never had to worry about you. You were always quiet." Yeah. And then I probably didn't get as much attention as other people. Sisters. Just notice these things. Yeah. Notice when you feel better about yourself, when you learn more about yourself, the most important person in the whole wide world is you, and you hardly even know you. Remember that one? I think it was on Channel 56. The more you learn about yourself, the more you can understand others. You got to look in before you can look out. That's how I do it. Yeah. Yep. Notice these things. Hey, G. Schnauzer, nice to see you. Yeah. Okay. Notice Kit Kat so cool. Notice the panic. I have couches I put outside because I don't have the space, but I feel panic. I feel, what if I need it? What if I need it? That panic, that feeling of your nervous system is what keeps people hanging on to stuff. That's what's hanging on to you. What if I need that? I let it go, but what if I need it? Now, I'm saying it could be legit. But then notice when you're in that activated, disruptive, dysregulated, we say in the biz. I like to try to use simple words, not biz words. But, oh my God, I'm activated. I'm like, what if I need it? What if I need it? I'm lack. I don't have it. I don't have what I need. That is a scary thing for a human. But notice when you're scared and frightened, you're not thinking with all of your brain. You're using just a little bit of it. That's why you can just step back, take a minute, and pause. Calm down and relax. Breathe. Slow down. And when you feel better, then with love in your heart, you can ask yourself, do I really think I'm going to need that couch? Do I have a place to sit now? If I let go of that couch, do I have someplace else to sit? I thought about that the other day, even when I was doing my vases. I was like, oh man, you know what? I guess I could put the basil in that vase that I just thought I was getting away. And then I said, if I didn't have that, could I use something else? And I was like, oh yeah, I get this pint glass right here. Okay? Please, please, please. Yes. Panic, fear, judgment, resentment, overwhelm, all are things that activate our nervous system. But they're also words that have opposites. Focus on the opposite. What would you rather feel? Not panicked? Maybe that's calm. Okay. I want to feel calm. How do I get there? I just say down, 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 gravity. Down, slow down, calm down, quiet down, breathe down, pet down. Put your hand down on your heart. Breathe into it. Settle down. You know, when you have something like this, how about this? See this? I'm going to see if it works. I don't even know if it will do. Okay. Oh my God, I'm all active. Okay, you know what you do? You slow down. You quiet down and notice this stuff starts to settle down. So it's not all up there. Oh my God, turmoil. You're like, shh. And when you settle down and you calm down and you breathe down and you slow down and you quiet down and you shake it off, you throw it down, you move your body, shake your body down to the ground, you're going to feel better. Start everything with getting yourself to feeling better. If you're not feeling better, don't make decisions that you might regret. But don't do nothing. Work on feeling better. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. Okay? Mira has totes and totes of photo albums and photos from my late mom. I don't know what to do with all this. You can decide. Trust your gut. couple of ideas is, first of all, which ones do you specifically want to keep, if any? Now, I always want to keep the pictures of the people I love when they looked good, when they were healthy, when they were smiling, when I was skinny, when I was younger. I don't want to keep the pictures of me when my eyes are half closed because of the flash and I look drunk, or they're blurry, or they're just pictures of trees. So look through and notice what I'm doing. I'm categorizing the photos. And you don't do this all at once. You start with one tote. And then you say, okay, I have 2,000 photos of my dad. Do I need 2,000 photos of my dad to remember him? No. So, okay, I'll start with picking out the good ones and getting rid of the bad ones. Then I have 1,000 pictures of my dad. They're all good. Do I really need that many? Here's a fun thing. How about even this? Think about this. So my dad died when he was 73. What if I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep pictures of my dad, but instead of 2,000 or even 1,000, I'm going to choose one photo that represents each year of his life if I'm able to. One for when he was 1, 2, 3, 4, so that I will have 73 photos of my dad, maybe, because there were plenty of years where no photos were taken, but there were plenty of years where tons of them were. Maybe I'll keep 100 photos of my dad. 100 photos takes up this much. Notice what we're doing. We are also using that word down. We are calming down. We are slowing down. We are chunking down into a smaller, more manageable amount of photos. How does that feel? I want things to feel doable. I want you to feel like you can do something. Because notice, if you don't feel like you can do it, you can't do it. But when you feel like you can do it, then you will be more likely to do it. Okay? There we go. Love it. Cat Mama's going through the same thing. She's digging out her own mom's house. Let's not be the people too. Can I just say, many of us are dealing with stuff that people ahead of us didn't know how to deal with. Let's be the people. Be the people that feed the people, stay alive. Or we the people. I'm going to sing the preamble if you don't watch it. Be the people who changes that learns what to do with the stuff, that also then doesn't burden the next generation to go through what we're going through right now with all their stuff. Be the change you want to see in the world, as Gandhi said, I think. Or maybe it was Mike Myers, I don't know. I'm kidding. Let's change the thing. Let's change history. Change your family history. If your mother didn't know how to deal with clutter, that's okay. You can learn. You can learn what you want. Okay? Yeah. I would say this. Yeah, you could say, I think I'll get a new album. What fits I keep. Here's a funny thing. G. Schnauzer will know what I'm talking about. I say the flip side. I say decide what you want and then find the container. You know what? Or you could say, I got a shoebox. You could do that and say, okay, as soon as this thing is full, I'm done. It's an either or. But go through and immediately just start with the declutter first, because then you'll know what size album to get. Yeah, Legal Becky, I've done this myself. I have photos of people that I have accumulated over my years and then realized that some people don't have them, and I send them to them both physically, but I also will take pictures. I will also break that habit of then having somebody else being saddled with paper photos, and I will take my phone, I will take a picture of a picture, and then I can send it to everybody. Yeah, I love it that Gia Loves Flowers is going through this with her 78-year-old mother. My mom is 78. We're going through pics and making a photo album, sharing the rest of the pics and tossing. And here, because I find death a motivator, because it's going to happen to all of us, how about this? With not even anybody else's photos, chunk it down to just your photos of you. Gonna sound morbid, but I'm Irish, okay? This is how I deal with things. Pick out the photos you want on your memory board, or I was at a funeral in the past year where they had like a screensaver. What do you call that? Like a slideshow. Start curating the photos you want to represent your life at your funeral, and make a box and say, these are the ones for my funeral. Anything else? Do you want all those yourself? No. Keep the good ones. Keep the ones you want at your funeral. Do that maybe with your mom too. We did that. My mother turned, when it was maybe she turned 70, 75. maybe 75. We pulled together a lot of those, and we could have done it digitally, but we made some poster boards and we hung them and with all these old photos. Now I have pictures of those photos, Yes, and Cat Mama, yes. Please put names on the backs of your photos and dates too, years if you have them. Okay? Now, Siobhan, I love the impetus, but Siobhan is saying, getting a small storage unit to clear my craft clutter and give myself a clean slate. Great idea. Great idea. But what I want to caution you, and I want to just caution all of you because I've been there and I know, moving things from point A to point B can give you a wonderful clean slate. However, you still need to make decisions on what you move. Decision making is the key to all of this. I wouldn't say it so emphatically if I just hadn't seen it play out over client and client and client. What I say is, Siobhan, maybe what you do is not just, I'm just going to shove everything in there and I'll deal with it a little bit at a time. You could, but what you also might do, and I say this, storage units cost money. So does coaching, but storage units cost money. And you may fall into the trap of having it there and then enjoying the nice clean thing, but then not having dealt with that stuff, and you could spend thousands of dollars on storage if you don't go back and deal with the stuff. Okay? There we go. Now here's the wonderful thing, Siobhan, and trust me, I'm not coming at this like a I'm right, you're wrong type of thing. The wonderful thing I think you're doing, which is great, is you are giving yourself some staging space. We need a space to spread out our stuff to see what we have. So if it is totally jam-packed, you can't do any stuff. So sometimes you do need to make space to do the decluttering. I just want to caution you, because I've just seen it play out, that don't forget the decluttering part. Okay? So I love it. I love what you're doing. I love that you're doing something to change the dynamic of where you are. Just know that, I don't know about you, but man, there are so many storage unit places that are popping up all over where I live. This is crazy, because in my town, we used to have a Kmart. The Kmart closed. That's the place where people will buy stuff and bring it into their homes. Now that Kmart has turned into a CubeSmart. So now people who don't know what to do with their stuff say, I know what I can do. I'm going to go spend money to put it back in that same building I bought it from. Decluttering is going to differentiate all that. Yeah. So, okay. And I'm glad I thank you for the heart. I just want to make sure, trust me, you guys, I don't come on to TikTok to be like, I'm right and you're wrong and do it my way and you're wrong. Fuck that. No. I just want to show you from my experience. I have learned the hard way. I see people learning the hard way. That if you try to skip over the decision making because you're not comfortable with it, you don't know, it may make you feel feelings. I'm not good at making decisions is a phrase I've heard people say. I want you to get good at making decisions, because your decisions define your life. Boom. That sounded like a mic drop moment, didn't it? I don't even have a mic over here. Your decisions have created the life you have. The better the decisions you make, the better your life is. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and see, Cat Mom is saying dose and disrespect, but if you need storage unit, you have too much. I get that, but sometimes you do legit need this. I know this from money or areas personal, so for example, when I worked for Pier 1 in Mikasa, I was a visual merchandiser, I was a manager. You need a third space sometimes. That's why you need a surface to spread your stuff out so you can decide on stuff. But if everything is jam-packed, you don't have that space. So sometimes temporarily, storage units can be good. But you need to interact with it. If stuff goes there to die, which is honestly why these people make money. I had stuff in storage for me for about a year. Back in the 90s, I had gotten divorced. I had gotten a divorce, and I had moved from our mutual house to my parents' house, to then I finally had my own awesome apartment. Loved that apartment. But then I got promoted at work. And then promoted at work required me to move miles and miles away, so I couldn't live where I lived. The living situation I ended up in is I was sharing a house with two other women. They already had a couch. They didn't need my couch, but I still wanted my couch. So for about a year or two, I had my stuff in storage. But it was intentional because I knew it was temporary. And then when I moved and I went to another thing, because I got promoted again at work, I had my stuff there and I could move it. So I'm not saying that they're inherently bad, but this is how they get you, and this is why I hate them, is they allow people to spend money and lose money when they could be saving their money by making decisions. Yeah. So, yeah, there we go. Abbott Elementary. I stored a crib and other things for years just to pay monthly and then just got rid of it all. Notice how your clutter, this is one of the things, if anybody's been on a consultation with me, on a scale from 1 to 10, how does your clutter affect how you spend your money? Storage units are number one. Thousands of dollars a year. Thousands of dollars a year that you're spending to just delay making decisions. Another way decluttering or clutter affects how you spend your money is by needing to buy duplicates of things because you can't find things. I need to buy another, pair of underpants because I haven't done laundry. I need to buy another mixing bowl because I don't know where mine is. I'm just going to go, and it's so easy. That's the thing about the modern day, is we have to use the technology to our benefit, not to our detriment. I could hit a button and have everything I ever wanted delivered to my home because of credit and Amazon. I could do it, but I don't because I don't want to be overwhelmed by that stuff. But it's so easy to say, I can't find it, later I'll get to it, but now, because I don't also schedule my time, I need that thing right now, so I just need to order it. All right, Siobhan, it's funny you mentioned moving because I have a big move coming in a year. Destination. Start prepping for your move now. Take your time, do it right. When you take your time, this is what I do when I coach. We move forward at a pace that feels right to you. This is what I'm doing. It's a road trip, people. It's a road trip. Okay? And drive at a pace that feels good to you. I did this just yesterday with a client. She and I were supposed to meet for the next many weeks. And she's like, oh my God, I am so anxious and stressed out about work. Work is legitimately taking up all of my time now, and it's freaking me out that I can't get the best out of our coaching because work is so busy. I'm a human. You're a human. Wouldn't you like to be a human too? I said, that's fine. Let's change it. Let's change what's not working. It worked for a while when work wasn't busy. We met every week for an hour on Zoom. She's on her 3rd or 4th or 5th package with me. I work in 10-session packages. I was like, no big deal. We're flexible. We're humans. We can change what isn't working. If your coaching is not going to work for you because you're exhausted and stressed, let's change it. So I'm not going to see her until like August 21st, and then we're going to go in when it's calmed down. You can change what's not working for you. Be a human. As soon as I said that to her, oh my God, the wash of relief over her face and her body, she literally was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. And I said right back to her, and I will say this, is have courage to ask for what you want. Now, she and I have been working together for a year. She knows I am a trustworthy source. So she still felt a little bit uncomfortable because we always are uncomfortable asking for what we want. But when you ask for what you want, that's the shortest cut to getting there. She asked for what she wanted. I said yes. It happened. Boom. Done. Pay attention to what you want and have the courage in yourself to go for it. And go for it, not go for it, like Nike. Ask for what you want. The first step is knowing what you want. And it's baby steps. Even Kara saying, take those baby steps. There we go. Declutter Trello board. Love it. Yeah, okay. Rainstorms to roses and whispers on kittens. Suggestions for craft stuff. Takes up space. Oh, and I got to watch it. I get like a minute. Takes up space, but not always being used. Figure out what you're not using and ask yourself, why am I not using it now? Don't judge. Just get curious. And then say, do I see myself being that crafty person in the future? The answer can be yes. The answer can be no. Do you want to crochet in the future? Cool. Find a place for your crochet stuff. Put it all together. Then ask yourself, do I really need all of this? Or what's the little bit of it I need to get going? Lather, rinse, repeat. It's the same all over the place, people. Okay? I have a minute left. And actually, if those of you on the Destination Decluttered mailing list, you know that for the next many days, I may do a pop-up, and you know the schedule. If you're on the mailing list, you know when I'm going to show up next on a TikTok Live. because today's the 11th. That's as far out as the thing that I shared here on TikTok. I almost said YouTube. Get on the mailing list if you want to know when I'm going to show up from now until the end of July. I almost said June, July. I have the schedule. I will share it with you. Just get on the mailing list. How you do that? DestinationDecluttered.com/join. That's also the Destination Decluttered website. Me is how you find out if you want me to be your coach. It's totally there. And then also, if all of that seems too overwhelming, just like me here on the TikToks, and I do videos and stuff. Okay? Now, I've got to go have an awesome life, as I always do, and I want you to too. All right? I'll see you later. Bye.